my dears. And you, soul who hears my words, I, Lao Tzu, the old master, come to share with you a truth as ancient as the Tao itself, and as enduring as the mountains. The world outside, with all its turbulence and incessant change, essentially reflects the world that dwells within you. Many strive to remodel the exterior, battling against circumstances, fighting against their fellow beings, in the vain hope of finding peace and harmony. But I tell you that true transformation, the kind that resonates deeply and alters the landscape around you, begins and ends within yourself. It is in the quietude of your soul, in the serenity of your spirit, that the genuine power resides to shape not only your experience, but the very flow of reality. Observe the river, my friends. It does not fight against the stones in its bed, nor does it struggle against the banks that contain it. It simply flows, adapting, bypassing, and in the process, shaping the valley through which it passes. Similarly, the nature of the Tao teaches us not to resist, but to find flexibility. The external world, with its demands and challenges, is like the riverbed. If your inner spirit is rigid and obstinate, the friction will be constant, generating pain and frustration. But if you become as flexible as water, accepting and adapting, you will discover that opposition dissolves, and harmony, which once seemed unattainable, manifests naturally. The human mind, in its complexity, is a universe in itself. Within it reside the thoughts that build and the fears that destroy. Every worry, every judgment, every attachment you nurture creates an invisible web that traps you and distorts your perception of reality. You imagine that chaos is in the world, but often it resides in the disorder of your own mind. When you quiet your mind, when you release the bonds of incessant thoughts and turbulent emotions, the external world, however chaotic it may seem, begins to organize itself in reflection of that inner peace. Clarity arises from stillness, and with it, the ability to see the Tao in all things. Attachment to outcome, the eagerness for control, is one of the greatest sources of suffering. You try to manipulate the world to conform to your desires, and when it does not, you become frustrated and despair. However, the Tao teaches the art of Wu Wei, non-action that is not inactivity, but action in perfect harmony with the natural flow of the universe. When you cease the internal struggle for control, when you trust in the intrinsic wisdom of the Tao, you discover that things unfold on their own, more effectively and less exhaustingly than you could have planned. The world moves with you, not against you. Your perception of the world is not the world itself, but a projection of your inner state. If your heart is full of anger and resentment, you will see enmity at every turn. If your mind is filled with envy and greed, you will see scarcity and injustice everywhere. But if your inner self is filled with gratitude, compassion, and contentment, beauty and abundance will reveal themselves in every detail. The world does not change. It is the lens through which you observe it that changes, and that lens is forged by the qualities of your own spirit. The incessant search for external validation is a bottomless pit that will never satisfy you. You seek recognition, praise, the approval of others to feel complete. But this is an illusion that separates you from your own essence. The power to validate yourself, to know your own worth, resides solely within you. When you free yourself from dependence on others' judgment, when you find your own light, the external world no longer has the power to disturb you with its fickle opinions. Your strength comes from within, and it is unshakable. Simplicity is the path to inner richness. Many believe that happiness resides in accumulating more and more possessions, more and more external experiences. But this endless pursuit only generates more desire and, consequently, more dissatisfaction. The Tao invites you to strip away excess, to value what is essential, to find fullness in the simplicity of existence. When your inner world is simple and detached, the external world does not need to offer you more for you to feel complete. True wealth lies in having little and desiring even less. Impatience is the enemy of wisdom. You desire immediate results, rapid transformations, without understanding that everything in nature has its own time to mature. A seed does not become a tree in a day. Water does not carve rock in an instant. Change in your inner world, and consequently change in your outer world, demands patience, persistence, and acceptance of the natural rhythm of the Tao. Cultivate patience as one cultivates a garden, and you will see the flowers blossom in their perfect time. Inner conflict, the division between what you think and what you feel, between what you say and what you do, projects itself as discord in the external world. Genuine peace can only flourish when there is congruence, when all parts of your being move in harmony, when your heart and mind are aligned, when your actions reflect your deepest values. The world around you begins to mirror this integrity, attracting circumstances and people who resonate with your inner coherence. Do not seek happiness outside yourself, for it is a treasure that can only be found in the depths of your own being. It is like the clear water found in the deepest well. The external world can offer distractions and superficial pleasures, but lasting joy, true serenity, springs from the inexhaustible source that resides within you. Dive deep within yourself, and you will find the abundance that the world could never give or take from you. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the doors of abundance. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your inner world fills with light, and that light reflects in your external experience. The universe responds to your vibration. If your heart overflows with gratitude, the world will offer you more reasons to be grateful. If you focus on lack, scarcity will manifest. Change begins with your attitude of appreciation for the present moment. The power of the inner voice is underestimated. What you tell yourself, what you believe about yourself and the world, invisibly but powerfully shapes your reality. If your inner voice is critical and negative, it will build a world of limitations and suffering. But if your inner voice is gentle, compassionate, and encouraging, it will build a path of possibilities and well-being. The world changes when the narrative you tell yourself about your inner world transforms. My dear seekers of truth and harmony, if these words resonate in your souls and bring a glimmer of clarity, I kindly ask you to like this video right now. By liking it, you help this message reach more hearts thirsty for transformation, and so that you may continue to receive valuable teachings that illuminate the path of self-knowledge and inner peace. Follow this channel and leave your comment about what touched you most. Your participation is the seed of a garden of wisdom that grows for all. Now, my dears, let us proceed with our journey. Reflect on the emptiness that many experience, the feeling that something essential is missing in their lives, even when they possess everything. This emptiness is not external. It is an echo of disconnection from the Tao itself, from the inner source of fullness. The world cannot fill this void. Only your reconnection with your deepest self, with your divine essence, can do so. True fullness resides in your integration with the universal flow. The fear of loss is an invisible shackle. You fear losing what you have. You fear not achieving what you desire. And this fear casts shadows on every step. But the Tao teaches the impermanence of all things. Everything that comes, one day goes. When you accept this fundamental truth, when you release attachment to what is transient, fear diminishes and spiritual freedom flourishes. The world cannot take from you what never truly belonged to you, your inner peace. Compassion, the ability to feel with others, arises from an open heart and a mind detached from ego. When you isolate yourself in your own interests and fears, the world seems a hostile place. But when you open your heart to the pain and joy of others, when you see yourself as part of an interconnected whole, compassion emerges naturally. And with it, the perception that, by helping others, you help yourself. The world becomes gentler when your soul is gentler. Excessive planning and rigidity are like armor that prevents you from flowing with life. You try to control every detail, every outcome, and when life presents a detour, you feel lost. But the Tao invites you to trust the flow, to be flexible like the bamboo that bends with the wind and does not break. When you let go of the need to control everything, the world reveals paths you never would have imagined, opportunities that arise from spontaneity. Attachment to the image you project to the world is a subtle prison. You worry about how you are perceived, about maintaining a facade of perfection, and this drains your energy and separates you from your authenticity. The Tao values simplicity and naturalness. When you are true to yourself, when you shed social masks, the genuineness that emanates from you attracts the right people and circumstances. The world embraces you when you embrace yourself. True strength resides not in aggression or domination, but in gentleness and persistence. Water, being soft, wears away the hardest rock over time. The wise do not impose themselves, they attract. They do not force, they allow. When you act with gentleness, with patience, and with quiet firmness, the world yields to your influence in a way that brute force never could. The power of your inner self transforms the exterior without confrontation. The constant search for novelty and external stimuli is a symptom of inner restlessness. You think that the next acquisition, the next trip, the next experience will bring peace. But true peace resides in the ability to find contentment in what you already have, in the quietude of the present moment. When you find fullness within yourself, the world does not need to offer you more for you to feel complete. The exterior satisfies you when the interior is already at peace. May your life be a reflection of the Tao that resides within you. May the inner peace you cultivate manifest as harmony in your home, in your relationships, in your work. May your serenity become a calming influence for those around you. The world is not a stage for your performance, but a mirror of your soul. Change what is within, and the universe will respond with a new reality. My dear friends, may these words serve as a beacon on your journey. Do not look to the outside for solutions to a problem that originates within you. The world changes when you change your inner world. Cultivate quietude, simplicity, compassion, and the wisdom of the Tao, and you will see that the landscape of your life will transform into a garden of peace and flourishing, in perfect harmony with the flow of the universe.